Hello guys and gals, and welcome to another episode of Unique Items. Today we're going to be looking at a kind of a poor item, but all of the items in this class seem to be rather poor. It's the military pick, it's the crow bill, it's the war spike. All of them tend to be just awful, and I don't really know why they're all awful. They just are. This one in particular is the elite version, which means it cannot be upgraded, so this is as high as it goes. We have a one-handed damage of 120 to 192, which is not like god-awful or anything. Like if you compare it to something like a non-ethereal version. Let me see if I can find a non-ethereal weapon here to compare it to. Let's say like a beast axe. So here we go. We got 92 to 273. So it's comparable to a beast axe, but the beast axe, of course, is higher damage. And it does have a very nice 40% increased attack speed on it. So, I mean, it does go a little bit faster than you might otherwise think. It does require 54 dexterity, which is relatively low, and most characters can get that. And 133 strength, which is pretty high, but still below the 156 Monarch shield that a lot of people shoot for. And at level 63, this is more of a mid to end game item. It is, of course, very fast attack speed because, of course, we have the 40% increased on it. And a war spike, I believe, is a, I want to say it's a negative 10. I'm not 100% sure if it's negative 10. Let me double check real quick. Of course, it does not say. It is a range 2 item, though, which does put it in the same category class as a phase blade. Phase blades are also category or range 2. Let me double check here. Yes, it is a base 10, negative 10 speed item. So it's negative 10 speed, and then it also comes with the plus 40% IAS. So it's going to be a particularly fast item, like a very, very fast item. We also have a enhanced damage on this of 240 to 300%, which is a pretty big variable of 60% ED, and it's going to make a big difference on the damage of this item. So if you end up getting one of the like really low-end ones, it's only going to be 102 to like 163 damage versus the 120 to 192 damage. Definitely a lot better with the higher ED numbers. We also have a negative 25% target's defense on here, which of course is very nice because that means it's going to obviously apply a nice little debuff to the monster, so we don't need as much attack rating to hit them. So that's definitely nice. And then on top of this, we also get a 1 to 305 lightning damage, which will apply every single time we hit the target. And because it's a very fast weapon, it will apply the lightning damage quickly. So, you know, every single time you hit, like if you hit 10 times, you get a nice 10, times 305 lightning damage, which adds up to like 3,000 some odd lightning damage if you hit the max number. But because it's 1 to 305, it's going to be more somewhere in the middle of about 150 is going to be the average. And then we also have a very odd effect on here of the level 8 Raven charges, which basically allows you to summon 5 level 8 Ravens. The only problem is that if you're not a druid, they die. I've never figured this out. You put ravens on the item, right? But then if you don't actually have the skill, the ravens just immediately die. So, useless. So, basically useless on anybody that's not a druid. And then on top of that, they also added a rather odd effect of Magic Find. So, it has anywhere between... They made it roll, by the way. They're very cruel in this, in my opinion, because it's already not really a particularly good item anyway, and if you were going to use this specifically for Magic Find, you would want, obviously, the 50% Magic Find version, but it rolls between 20 to 50% Magic Find. So there's every possibility that you will find this with poor damage and poor Magic Find, and probably not want to put this thing on. It doesn't even challenge other Magic Find items. Like, it doesn't challenge the Blade of Ali Baba, which could be upgraded and probably does better damage than this. It doesn't challenge, like a Gull Dagger, which has a lot more Magic Find. And honestly, a 6-isted phase blade is probably better in damage than this is, just simply because it's faster. It just seems like a really odd choice to make the magic find roll on this particular item, especially when it's probably going to be like one of the only reasons you would probably ever put this item on is for the magic find. You can also find this in the ethereal form, and the ethereal form is 180 to 288 damage, definitely a lot more enticing than the 120 to 192, and it has the same, nice effects on it, but it's still not high enough damage, like especially if you were to compare it to something like the Redeemer Mighty Scepter, which is 240 to 312. As you can see, we're close, but not quite. And then the Redeemer also has the plus 120 extra grief damage on top of it, and it has the target's defense on it, so negative 33% target's defense. Just in general, like, it's a better all-around weapon if you were thinking about the difference between these two. And on top of that, if you wanted to use the ethereal version, you couldn't use it because the durability on this item is garbage. It's 26 durability, so you're going to have to put a Zod rune in it. So if you want to use it, you've got to drop a Zod in there. And you know what? Let's take it out and let's play around with it, shall we? So let's take our Zodded version and let's take our non-Zodded version and let's go whirlwind something to death. Why not? We're on players 8, by the way, so good luck, Cranebeak. Let's go ahead and use Grimward. We'll give the Cranebeak a little bit of assistance because it does add extra physical damage. Let's see how well this thing works. As you can see, we've got a lot of lightning procs. All of those lightning procs are, of course, because of the... I immediately died. It cannot be a merc weapon because it is, unfortunately, an axe. And none of the mercs can use an axe. Struggle to get my corpse back. I mean, I didn't expect to do well, but I didn't expect to die either. I mean, I felt like I was probably going to do better than death. It just doesn't really output enough damage, and granted, my character is kind of a little poorly set up. Ow. Okay. Rude. Here, let's, I think he has mana burn, which is what got me killed. Let me go double check this on another monster, just to be, you know, fair. Just to be fair. I'll grab some potions too. Why not? Grab a couple potions. Put them in your belt. Grab a couple potions, and your heart might melt. We don't want you to die, so put it in a pizza pie, and let's go down to the river of flame. Oh, look, a combat shrine. I mean, that would be totally unfair to this test, but you know what? Why not? Hey, I killed something. I did it, boys. I did it. I did it. I did it. Yay. Come along and whirlwind with me. I did it. I did it. I did it. Yay. As you can see, it is a particularly fast item. By the number of lightning hitting the target, you can clearly see that the weapon is striking multiple times and is applying that lightning damage multiple times. So, I mean, it's not like it's absolutely a terrible item. You know what? I'm gonna re-kajigger my assessment. The ethereal Zodded version is a halfway decent weapon with some magic find on it. Is it a good weapon? No. Would I choose this on a character over other weapons? No. If they bumped up the magic find a little bit, this might actually see some use. I feel like if they took it and they put it to like 100% magic find instead of 50, and they took away the variable or made the variable between 75 to 100, you might actually see this get used a little more often. I also feel like the lightning damage might need to get bumped up just a little bit, maybe like 500 instead of 300. But overall, it's kind of in a good place as far as like a magic find version of a weapon. Like, imagine you were a paladin and you wanted to magic find. Magic find becomes your priority, and you want a weapon that potentially can do decent damage that would be a good magic finding choice. Now, but the problem is, though, is using the ethereal Zoned version for that purpose is kind of silly, because you could use the non-ethereal version and you could put an ist rune in it. And then you could go from 50% to 60, 70, 80, or if they brought up the magic find to 100, you could go to 100 to 130, and you could potentially have a very interesting item, but unfortunately 50 is just too low. I kind of see what they were going for with this item. I think, like, and I'm not just trying to, like, just, like, psychically read their minds. Like, I think I can kind of see what they were going for. What they were going for is an item that could potentially be used for melee characters to magic find. So if you're a Zealer, if you're a Frenzy Barbarian, if you were a Fury Druid, basically any character that would actually want to, like, attack things and kill them, it's kind of like a halfway decent choice for magic finding, but the durability really kills it. If I take this out there and I use this on a regular basis, it's going to break all the time. And the non-ethereal version doesn't really have that good damage either, so I'm going to have to hit a lot. I think I've said pretty much everything I can about this item. Let's go over to Silo's Pen and let's see where we could potentially find this item if we wanted to get our hands on it. I don't know why we particularly would want to get our hands on it, but let's go see anyway. Let's go take a look. If it's in a book, Reading Rainbow. I can't find anything. Alright, so drop chances for the Cranebeak. Cranebeak. There it is. That is Cranebeak, right? Yes. Cranebeak War Spike. So actually pretty high. Kind of impressed. So looks like Bale and Diablo both have pretty good probabilities in it there. I would definitely say that Hell Diablo is probably your superior choice at 1 in 1,239. But it does look like Bale has a really good chance at 1 in 870. I mean, that's sub 1,000 drops. So, I mean, that's pretty sexy. And Quest Diablo beats him at 1 in 822. Those are pretty good little drop chances. And even Neelathak's not bad at 1 in 6,626. Let's take a look at super uniques, shall we? And I mean, Pendle Skin is 1 in a 9,375, which is absolutely not terrible. Not terrible. And then you also got Thresh Socket, Doc Farron, Eldritch the Rectifier, and Shank. So that's like your little run there. So basically what you do is you teleport down and you kill Doc Farron. Then you teleport all the way up and you kill Shank the Overseer. And then you teleport a little bit further and you kill Eldritch the Rectifier. And then you teleport a little bit further and you kill Thresh Socket. And then you go back to town and then you kill Pendle. And then you remake the game, rinse, repeat. It's a very easy combo. It literally it's like a straight line. You just teleport down, kill Pendle, teleport down, kill Shank, teleport down, kill Eldritch, teleport down, and you kill Thresh Socket. And honestly, you could probably do that in like 5 minutes, if not less. And then of course Pendle is always in town at the portal. You know, he's super easy to get to. I think that's pretty much it for the Cranebeak. Crouching Tiger, hidden Cranebeak over here. It's better than I thought it was going to be. Let me say that about this item. It's better than I thought it was going to be. And that's how all items are when you add in Magic Find. So whenever Magic Find comes into the equation, like say you had a ring, right? And you put the ring on and you're like, this is a pretty crappy ring. But then you take the same exact ring and you add some magic find to it, and you show it to the same person, and they're like, "Oh, that's not bad. You know, that's got a nice little bit of magic find on there with some crappy stats, but the magic find is very nice." Like, that's kind of what they did with this. It's like a generic, like, piece of crap, like, dime a dozen weapon. Like, there are so many weapons in the game that are fast and they have decent damage. Like Baron Era's Star outclasses this thing by miles. And if I was on a paladin, I would use Baron Era's Star over this thing any day of the week, right? But it has magic find, right? So if you were specifically trying to build a magic find character, suddenly this becomes a kind of an interesting option, but only because it has the magic find. Anyway, as always, I do appreciate you guys and gals watching my videos, even when it's about a very poopy item like the War Spike, Cranebeak. And as always, keep watching.